If you're pouring your heart into your podcast, but still struggling to turn those listeners into paying clients, I've got something just for you. Imagine having a clear, simple plan to turn your listeners into buyers without relying on a huge audience or spending hours on social media. That's exactly what we'll create together in a podcast profit plan discovery call. During this free 20-minute call, I'll help you discover more opportunities for profit in your podcast and give you the next best step to turn your show into a client attracting machine. If I've got an offer that will help you expedite this process, then we can also discuss working together. Book your free podcast profit plan discovery call now by going to podcastingformoms.co/profit plan or by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to chat with you. Ever wish that you could sit down with a podcast strategist, mom to mom, and just ask all the questions swirling in your brain? Like, do I really need a big audience to start? How do I stay consistent when life is chaos? And what if no one listens? In today's episode, I'm pulling back the curtain and giving you the real, unfiltered answers to your biggest podcasting questions. No fluff, no sugarcoating, and definitely no gatekeeping. If you've ever wondered what it really takes to podcast as a busy mom, this episode's for you. Welcome to Podcasting for Moms, the show for moms in business ready to start, grow, and scale a podcast that turns their listeners into buyers. I'm Jenny Sonneson, a podcast strategist and fellow mom entrepreneur. You're in the right place if you want to learn how to start and grow a podcast that attracts your ideal clients and really does the heavy lifting for you when it comes to selling your offers, all while balancing life as a busy mom. Are you ready to create a podcast that grows your income, impact, and influence? Let's make podcasting work for you because as moms, we know how to get things done. All right, let's jump into the episode. Hey there, and welcome back to Podcasting for Moms, the show that helps busy mom entrepreneurs launch, grow, and monetize their podcast in part-time hours without the stress or burnout. Today's episode's a little bit different, and I'm super excited for it. This is an Ask Me Anything episode where I'm answering your questions about podcasting. Real, raw, and unfiltered. No gatekeeping, just honest answers from a mom who's been in the podcasting trenches for several years and has helped dozens of other moms do the same. So whether you're thinking about launching a show or you've already got a podcast that needs a little love, you're in the right place. Let's jump into it. So the first question is, do I need a big audience to start a podcast? And the short answer to that is no. But we're not here for the short answer. So the long answer is, if I had $1 for every time I heard this question, I could probably fund an entire podcast network. You do not need a huge audience to start a podcast. What you do need is clarity on who you're talking to, how to help them, and why your voice matters. Podcasting is actually one of the best ways to grow your audience because it builds trust faster than social media ever could. So don't wait to be quote unquote big enough. Start now, serve well, the growth will follow. The next question is, how do you stay consistent when life is just so busy? This is kind of the $1 million mom entrepreneur question. And here is my honest answer. I plan like a CEO and record like a mom. That means that I work in small chunks, I batch when I can, and I always have a backup episode or two on deck just in case the week goes sideways. I also use tools like ChatGPT and Descript to cut my workflow time in half. And inside my membership, Moms Behind the Mic Society, I actually teach a whole system for sustainable content planning that's made for moms just like us. Because consistency doesn't mean publishing every single week forever. It means creating a plan that works for your life. The next question is podcasting still worth it with all the algorithm changes? And my answer here is yes, 1,000 times yes. And here is why. You own your podcast. It's not subject to Instagram's algorithm or the whims of whatever's trending on TikTok. A podcast is a long-form content platform that builds deep connection with your listeners and drives traffic to your offers on your terms. Plus, podcasts are searchable, bingeable, and evergreen. You can literally have an episode recorded 6 months ago still sending people into your funnel today. That kind of ROI is totally unmatched. The next question is, how do I make money from my podcast without sponsors? This is one I absolutely love because traditional sponsors are not the only way to monetize, contrary to popular belief. In fact, I really don't recommend going after sponsors until you've nailed these 3 self-monetization strategies first. So the first one is self-sponsored ad segments. This is where you promote your own offers in your show just like an ad. Then we have lead magnets and funnels. This is where you use your podcast to grow your email list and sell from there. Then we have affiliate marketing. So this is where you're sharing tools or products you love using your own unique links. Once you've got a system that turns listeners into buyers, then you can layer in sponsors if you want. But that should not be your only revenue plan. And the last question I have for you today is, what if I start a podcast and no one listens? This one hits deep because I totally get it. But let me reframe it like this. What if you are the one person who keeps going long enough to build something that does get heard? Every successful podcaster had a time where their numbers were low. I've launched shows where the first episodes had 10 downloads. Now, some of those same shows are getting thousands of listens per month. The key here is to keep showing up, keep improving, and keep focusing on your listener, even if it's just one person right now. Because when you make her feel seen and supported, she tells her friends. And that's how the snowball effect starts. Well, I know that was fast, but answering your questions was really fun. I absolutely love answering your questions, and I'll definitely be doing more of these in the future. If today's episode gave you some clarity or permission to just start or keep going with your podcast, I'd love for you to do the following. DM me on Instagram at jenny.sunnison and tell me what clicked. Share this episode with a fellow mom who's been podcast curious, and leave a rating or review because it helps other moms find the show too. And if you want deeper support with launching or growing your podcast, come join us inside Moms Behind the Mic Society, which is my membership for mom podcasters who want to do this sustainably, strategically, and in community. The link to check it out is in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and using your voice because your message matters. Thank you for tuning into Podcasting for Moms. I hope today's episode gave you the tools and inspiration you need to make your podcast work smarter, not harder. If you love what you heard, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It means the world and helps other moms in business find the show. For more tips, resources, and support, head to podcastingformoms.co. Remember, you're not just building a podcast, you're building your legacy. Until next time, friends.